Christianity, taken to the extreme, is dangerous. Today's video is my reaction to Season 2 of Shiny Happy People. Hi, I'm Garth, former worship leader and your host of Faith Challenged. In this video, we will discuss my personal reaction to Season 2 of the docuseries Shiny Happy People. Season 2 dropped on July 23rd, so not that long ago. And if you have not watched Shiny Happy People yet, I encourage you to do so. It is available on Amazon Prime. Just a warning that it may be triggering to some of you who've had really bad experiences when it comes to the church. Season 2 exposes teen mania. Teen mania was formed in 1986 and was forced to close in 2025 for a variety of reasons. These reasons include financial difficulties, legal issues, and allegations of spiritual abuse. This series made me very, very, very angry. I can't even stress how angry it made me. While I count myself lucky to have not endured such trauma within the Christian church, I know that so many lives were ruined in the name of Christianity. Teen mania was much larger in the US than in Canada, although from what I understand, teen mania did have a presence here in Canada as well. Before watching the docuseries, I was not familiar with teen mania. This is probably due to many factors. I was in my early 20s when teen mania was formed. In addition, I did not have children, so I would not have heard of this ministry through them or any of the variety of groups that they may have been a part of. That said, I was very, very familiar with many of teen mania's influences like Dr. James Dobson and Chuck Colson. The Baptist church that I attended from when I was about 8 years old or so to my early 30s endorsed Dr. James Dobson and his tough love dogma. The idea behind tough love was to teach parents to be strict with their kids and to lead them in the ways of Christ. While my parents took part in the adoption training and educational films, thankfully they weren't all in when it came to being tough love parents. Regarding Chuck Colson, I had no real connection with him, other than I heard the occasional Colson message. Colson was certainly not someone whom I admired. The Newsboys were often involved in teen mania, and so was Ray Boltz. As a Christian, I loved Ray's music. Not a huge fan of the Newsboys. It is important as well for me to highlight right now that the Newsboys were just dropped, I think it was back in June, by their label, as Michael Tate, one of their singers, has been accused of essaying three men in the early part of the 2000s. To my knowledge, this didn't come to light until after the filming of Season 2 of Shiny Happy People. Season 2 of Shiny Happy People pointed out that teen mania was appalling in so many ways. Teens paid to be a part of this movement, yet they were often treated like crap. They were forced to do awful jobs and work long hours for no pay. If they were short on funds, fundraising was required. If they broke even minor rules, they risked being put out of the program and sent back home. Learning about teen mania made me furious. If I were a Christian when I watched this, I may not have been a Christian by the time I finished watching the series. Christians will tell you that you can't walk away from Christ because of terrible people. I must be honest, I am seeing so many scumbags who proclaim the name of Christ that this cliche is starting to sound more like an excuse. Reading the Bible just makes things worse. The Old Testament just makes God appear that he is willing to do anything to force people to be obedient to the ways of God, or to his ways rather. Shiny Happy People Season 2 exposes Team Mania for what it is. Leaders who abuse power and leaders who push their views of who they believe Christ or who they believe God is and what he wants of teens. Physical and mental illnesses were not dealt with properly. Much of the time they were dealt with in the quote-unquote Christian way. They encouraged people who were sick to pray, fast, and to be obedient to God. Leaders pushed false narratives in Teen Mania in order to further their perception of Christianity. One horrific event in particular radicalized Teen Mania even more. Teen Mania became more like a boot camp for Navy SEALs. They taught that Earth was a battleground, that all Christians need to be trained for battle, and that Christians must be ready to die for their faith. It was unbelievably difficult to watch parts of this docuseries. If you are a Christian, you need to watch this. Like I said, the Bible, especially the Old Testament, doesn't teach anything different, with the exception that God makes the rules and that if you don't follow them, you will be punished. The series is a must-see. Once you have seen Shiny Happy People, up to and including Season 2, I would invite you to leave your thoughts in the comment section below. If you found this video helpful, please like and share it. Please subscribe to my channel, Faith Challenge. I would really appreciate that. Until next time, I'm Garth, your host of Faith Challenge, reminding you to always think critically.